In the past year in Canada, the government has made it almost impossible to have your thyroid properly tested. I talk to women every single day that tell me their doctor would only test what's called their TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. Unfortunately, for many women with hypothyroidism, that is not enough. We are seeing more and more and more women, like an epidemic of women who are not converting what's called free T4 to free T3. Free T3 is your active hormone, which means that is the hormone that helps your body to burn fat. If you've been struggling with weight loss resistance, the number one test you need to do is a thyroid panel. And right now, with COVID craziness going throughout our entire world, the more you can do from home when it comes to medical tests, the better. So I'm happy to announce that if you head over to KarenMartel.com/shop, you'll see that I am now offering via Let's Get Checked, which is a very well-respected private testing lab. It's very, very affordable. You can now test in Canada and the United States your thyroid hormones from home through what is called a finger prick collection method. It's very easy, doesn't hurt. Well, hurts a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. You can get free thyroxine, which is your free T4, free triiodothyronine. That's a hard word to say. We'll just say free T3, thyroid stimulating hormone, which is your TSH, thyroid globulin antibodies, thyroid peroxidase antibodies, both of which are testing you for what is called Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid autoimmune condition where your body's attacking your own thyroid. As well, it'll test thyroxine, all for $119. And you can grab a coupon code when you're there to get 20% off that price. So that is much less than what you would pay out of pocket here in Canada to have your thyroid tested. So if you have a doctor that's being difficult, which most of them have to be, they're not actually allowed to test past TSH unless there's a problem with your TSH. So if you are struggling with weight loss resistance and your doctor will not test past that TSH, please head over, grab this test kit. It's going to be shipped to you within a week, and you're going to get your results back and the ability to talk to a nurse practitioner or doctor through Let's Get Checked, all included in that price. So go check it out. There's also iron panel. There's many other things. There's a vitamins essential kit, many different things. I'm about to test my omega-3 to omega-6 ratios through Let's Get Checked, as well as the essential vitamins test kit. And I will let you know how that goes. All right. So besides that, everyone, I've been running a contest every month for people that leave me a 5-star review and a written review on iTunes. So whoever does, they get to be put into a little draw and are possibly able to win one of the monthly prizes. So this past month in July, we had 2 prizes. One was a 1-month membership in the On Track group, and the other one was a 3-month membership in the On Track group. So the winner of the 1 month goes to Leona155. I enjoy listening to your podcast so much. I am in Ontario, Canada. You cover so many amazing topics, and I listen while I'm working at home, and it's really helped me keep my focus. So thank you. So Leona, you have won the 30-day membership to my hormone and weight loss program On Track. And our winner of the 3-month membership goes to Livia GM. So excited that I found this podcast. I just found Karen on another podcast right in the middle of going through many exams, struggling to find answers for my hormonal issues. Karen's work, as little time as I've had so far listening to her, has helped me so much. I'm now on a mission of binge listening to all episodes to get as much info as I can. Thank you so much, Karen, for putting this info out there for us women. I'm thrilled to know I'm not alone in this journey. Well said, Livia. So Livia and Leona, whoever you are, wherever you are, please contact me at Karen@KarenMartel.com to claim your free On Track memberships. How exciting. So if you would like to get your name in for the month of August, all you have to do is leave me a 5-star review on iTunes, as well a written review telling me why you love my podcast. And then you will be entered to win this month's prize, which is, once again, I'm going to do 2. This one went really well, so I'm going to do another 1-month membership to the On Track program. As well, I've got a very exciting little prize. Dr. Mock Seibel's newish book, The Estrogen Fix. Coming up this month, I have an interview with Dr. Seibel. So I thought, how great would it be to give away one of his books? I loved this book. It's one of these books that I wish I could hand out to each and every one of you that is listening to this podcast, because the information in it is so important, and you're not going to be told by your doctor, for the most part, about what is in this book, which is the importance of estrogen. And when you hear my interview with Dr. Seibel, you will be running out anyways to get his book, because it's such powerful information. We need estrogen as we age and as we go through menopause. It is so important to your health. So if you leave me a review, you will be entered to win a copy of Dr. Mock Seibel's amazing book, The Estrogen Fix, which is the breakthrough guide to being healthy, energized, and hormonally balanced. All right, you guys, let's get to our show. You're listening to The Other Side of Weight Loss. I'm your host, Karen Martel, transformational nutrition coach and expert in women's weight loss and hormone health. If you are ready to go beyond diet and exercise, then tune in each week to hear from leading experts in psychology, nutrition, and spirituality as we explore the many avenues of what it really takes to lose weight and feel your best. Today's podcast has been in the making, at least in the making inside my head, for at least a year, I would say. And I just kind of had a tipping point with this topic the other day, which was when I was talking to an old friend of mine. She's a client and a friend that I've known for a long, long time. She's been really struggling with weight and with a ton of hormonal issues as she's hitting her 40s and starting to head through perimenopause. She's found it near impossible to lose weight. Her periods have become irregular. She's been getting heavy periods and just doesn't feel well. Feels like she's got a lot of anxiety. She's not sleeping well. I mean, the list goes on. This is very, very typical. And I'm sure many of you are going, yeah, that's me. And in our conversation, we were doing a video Skype. And in the background, I saw her husband. And I know her husband. So I said, hey, so-and-so, how's it going? And he got close to the camera, and I haven't seen him for a while. And I said, look at you and your gray hair. I said, it's so handsome. I said, you look fantastic. And then I stopped myself, and I actually said it to them. I'm like, it really sucks that nobody says that to women. I mean, how often do you hear a man say to a woman, hey, you look gorgeous. I love all the gray hair that's coming in. I know I have not heard that before. Have you? No, probably not. And if you did, well, that man is a catch, and he's a good man. And I find that I say it to my husband even, who's gone fully gray, and he's younger than me. And I always look at him and think, wow, he looks so handsome. And I see other women, and I think women say it to women, or a lot of women do anyways. I know I do. If I see a woman, I saw one recently who was my mom's friend, and she'd always dyed her hair dark, like black. She's got really short black hair. And she decided, screw it. And so did my mom, actually. Speaking of my mom, she'd always been blonde, short blonde hair, always dyed. Both of these women are in their 60s. And both of them decided to go gray within the last probably 2 years. And I saw the woman recently, and I was just like, I said, your hair looks so good like that. It's like the salt and pepper. And then my mom was really nervous because she didn't know she had nice gray hair. And I was like, Mom, your hair looks so good like that. It's like this beautiful white. And I'm like, it's better than the blonde. And I said, that looks amazing. Now, that was, like I said, my thought on that really just bothered me. I kept thinking about that conversation I had with my friend. And when I said that to her husband about the gray hair, and it's just like, there's still so much inequality between man and woman. And this episode is going to be a little bit of a rah-rah, women's rights activist type episode, because I've just had enough. And it's been building. Like I said, this has been coming for about a year. I mean, given I myself am really in the depths of perimenopause. I've gained weight from it. I've definitely been able to manage many of the symptoms that came with it. But there has been this piece in me that's fighting it, that is saying, oh gosh, I don't want to put on this little bit of belly fat that I've put on. And how do I get this off? I'm a weight loss coach. I'm a hormone coach. I need to get rid of this. I need to, and I can't gain weight. And the pressure has been huge on me. I've also recently watched the Jeffrey Epstein documentary, which sat with me for weeks as well. It was so disturbing. I mean, that's not having to do with aging, but just the fact that happened, and nobody took those women seriously. And until, I don't know if you've seen it, but I mean, it's kind of worth the watch. It's disturbing it's just so disturbing. Let's just put it that way. This man raped hundreds and hundreds of young girls. Thousands, I would think, actually, thousands. And just that nobody took these women seriously until the Me Too movement happened. So until there was this worldwide uproar, were they taken seriously? That just makes me so angry that that's what it had to take in order to get these women justice. And I've recently been talking to friends and family members and just seeing things on the media, and how many women, including myself, have been date raped, sometimes multiple times, have been raped. I think almost every woman I know who has been open enough to tell me has shared with me at some point in their life they were raped, if not date raped, even raped by their own partner, where they didn't want to and their partner forced them into it. I mean, that's horrifying. Or just women that succumb to their partner's needs over and over again, even though they don't want to. So to them, it feels like they've been violated to some extent because they didn't want to be doing it, but they did for them. And this control and this inequality, and it's like, there's so many things just have been building up. Oh, another one, plastic surgery. I'm on all different types of health forums on Facebook, and just to, see what people are saying. And on the heavy metals one that I'm on, there's a lot of women that are going on there saying that they had their breast implants taken out because they had breast implant sickness. I have a close friend that also just had her breast implants taken out because she was getting so sick from them. And I think, oh my goodness, like how many women out there have breast implants and are sick from it. And I think what do men have? Men are not getting breast implants. Like, I know that there's some guys out there getting like bicep implants and things like that, but really, in comparison to the amount that women are getting them, women, it's substantially more. And I was listening to a podcast the other day about the neurotoxins that are in Botox, the toxins that are in breast implants. There is, my friend showed me the list, and part of it is heavy metals. There's heavy metals in breast implants, but not only that, I can't remember, there was multiple different ingredients, toxic ingredients that are in breast implants. And it is not a matter of whether or not they will leak. They do. Every single one of them leak. And it's just whether or not, how can your body handle the leakage of those poisons into your system? Some women do just fine and won't notice anything. Other women, they get extremely ill, and it's a slow creep up of these weird little symptoms that happen. So there's all of these things. And then I saw an old friend from high school that she's so beautiful. And I saw that she was full of Botox and lip filler and breast implants. And I thought, and please, no offense, please don't take offense to me saying this, but she, honest to goodness, would be way more beautiful without all of that. Because natural beauty to me is truly beautiful. And I have to remind myself of that. I don't look at a woman that's been full of filler and Botox and has the big duck lips. I don't look at those women and I don't think, oh, you're so beautiful. I don't. I look at the women that are naturally aging, that I can tell that they're healthy, that they eat well. It doesn't matter if they're curvy and have the gray hair and lots of wrinkles, saggy breasts, saggy skin. If they're healthy, to me, I see beauty in that all the time. But I don't think that the majority of society thinks the way that I do. And I certainly have struggled with it with myself, where I can look at other women that are putting on some weight during perimenopause or going through the shift, and I think to myself, they look great. But then when I look at my own body in the mirror and I'm like, "Ooh, I've put on this weight and it's all around my tummy," and I'm critical of myself, and mostly because of this industry that I'm in, and the expectations of that I need to be able to conquer that little bit of weight gain that has happened with my perimenopause. So here we are. This is what we're talking about today, because I really just want myself and for all of you that are listening to change this. It's up to us to change the way we see aging in women, because it's not going to happen anywhere else. So if we can rise up, just like the Me Too movement, and we can start saying enough's enough. Women need to be valued and respected and thought of as beautiful, no matter where we are in our lives, because we're still incredible women. And what comes with aging, everything about aging can be, honestly, it can be the best time of your entire life, especially if you can quit struggling with the ego part of yourself. And everything I'm saying here today, I'm saying to myself, ladies, don't you worry. I'm not claiming to have it all figured out, but this is something I'm actively working on. And I want every one of you to actively work on as well, because I don't want my daughter to feel that as she gets older, she needs to have bigger breasts and put in toxic breast implants. I don't want her to think she needs to get Botox and to get filler in her face. To each his own if you do want to do those things. But if you could still realize that no matter how much you do to your face and to your body, you will still age. So there has to be this acceptance, and where you stop messing with your body and stop putting in all these toxins. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of it looks really, really tempting. And I've myself had Botox for years until I heard that it was, yes, a neurotoxin that was going through my brain. And unfortunately, now I do not do Botox, but it sure looked good to have that nice, little, I think they call it the bitch ditch in the middle of my eyebrows gone for a few years. It was nice. I mean, I originally started doing Botox for migraines, but it did nothing for migraines, but I really liked what it did for my youthfulness on my face. But no, I had to stop because it's just too much. And, I've wanted to get the tummy tuck because I had 2 C-sections. So I have this belly flap that literally hangs over my pubic line, and it's not very attractive. It makes wearing pants very uncomfortable. So yeah, I have thought, and I probably, had I had the money floating around, I probably would have had it chopped off by now. But I mean, if it wasn't for those C-sections, my children, could have died. And so why can't I look at that and think that that's a beautiful thing? It meant my children lived and had a safe birth. But we don't think about that. We think, oh, this looks so terrible. I want to go get it cut off. This is what other women are doing. Anyways, like I said before, aging can be something beautiful, and it can be embraced, because we go through these shifts, as I like to call, which is from Wayne Dyer. I don't know if you guys know who Wayne Dyer is. Probably many of you do. He's no longer with us, but was a world-renowned inspirational speaker and coach, and he's spiritual guru type person. He was amazing. His stuff is amazing. He actually did a movie called The Shift, and I've used it. I mean, I saw it like 5 years ago, and probably even longer. And it's one of those shows that I actually tell every woman who's going through perimenopause, I'm like, go watch The Shift. It's like this cheesy little movie where he plays himself in the movie. And you can watch it on YouTube. I'll link to it in the show notes. But you got to go watch it, because it really does shift the way you're thinking about aging. And he talks about the fact that before our perimenopause, and he's talking about men too, so menopause, we'll call it, we are ego driven. And we shift into, as we go through perimenopause and into menopause, to a life of purpose. Now, doesn't that resonate with you? Because it does feel like that. I mean, your 20s and 30s, part of your 40s, it is very ego driven, and it's all about getting things done and getting the career, getting the husband, getting the children. Everything's got to get, all lined up. And then you shift into this place where you do want more purpose in your life. And I hear this. I mean, I've worked with women for the last 20 years, and I know this to be true, that 90% of you all say the same thing in some way, and maybe differently, but in some way you're telling me, when you start to go through perimenopause and menopause, that you are somehow looking for something more in your life. And in some women, this can cause this underlying kind of depression. And the depression is caused by the need for more spiritual fulfillment. And what tends to happen, because of the society that we live in, we seek it in material things. We think, okay, it's time. You know what? I need to buy a new car. This is why you see men that go out in their, midlife crises and go buy themselves a convertible. Women, it's, you might decide you need a better and bigger home. You need more clothing. You need to, and you try to look for it in these material things to try to fill this void that seems to be getting louder and louder. And I really believe that that it's a spiritual shift that happens, that where you're looking for this deeper meaning in your life, where, as Wayne Dyer says, where meaning and purpose replace ambition and struggle. And that is what it feels like up until your 40s. You're very ambitious. and there's a lot of struggle. I know it was for me. And you're trying to figure out who you are, and you've got these kids, and you've got the husband, and you're just in the career, and it's a lot of struggling. There is lots of greatness too, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely ambition and struggle in those years. And then now that I'm going through my shift, it definitely feels like I'm looking for more meaning in my life. And what used to be important to me no longer is. Little things, little stupid little things are no longer important to me. So I'm going to read this little thing from Wayne Dyer. The shift doesn't mean that we lose our drive and ambition. It signifies that we become ambitious about something new. We make a commitment to living a life based on experiencing meaning and feeling purposeful rather than never-ending demands and false promises that are the trademark of the ego's agenda. I love that, you guys. I love it. And it's so true. So I know you're going to want to go watch the shift now, but I'll do a little spoiler alert here. He talks about what is most important for women in the first half of their life. Number 1 is family. Number 2 is independence. Number 3 is career. Number 4 is fitting in. And number 5 is attractiveness. Makes sense, doesn't it? Those were all of my top priorities in my first half of my life, for sure. And then he calls it after a quantum shift. This is how the rankings changed. Women's number 1 is own personal growth. Tired of looking after others, put self first. Sense of self-esteem is number 2. Number 3 is spirituality. Number 4 is happiness. And number 5 is forgiveness. And I feel all of those things. And if you don't, I would sit with it for a while, because if you've been feeling unsettled and not knowing what's happening, maybe you're feeling a little bit down, your body's changing, you're going through this shift, really think about what's happening, because we do spend that first half of our life looking for the career, to get the partner and the family and the children. For the most part, some people don't want kids. Wanting to be fit and attractive and fit into the groups, the social groups. I know I sure as heck did. And then in the second half, and I really feel this and I try to honor this, is I am getting tired of looking after everybody else. And I am wanting to put me first and say, okay, what do I want to do? I've spent my life taking care of all of these people around me. What do I want? And I want you to ask that as well. Let go of the physical changes that are happening and start to really focus on these amazing spiritual shifts that are happening inside your body right now. And how can you honor these things? Ask yourself, what do you want in life? What have you always wanted to do? Some women have no idea. And that's totally okay. But it's time to start asking yourself that. And something will come up where, it'll be like, you know what? I've always just wanted to do some volunteer work and help with, homeless people. I've wanted to, personally, mine was, I wanted to always learn Spanish fluently. But it's like I had time for that before. Not that I have time for it now, but I really feel the need to honor those desires now when I didn't before. It was easy for me to put it on the back burner and put everybody else first. So that's just like the simplest little thing, which is take some Spanish classes, like whoop-de-doo, like it's not a big deal. Yoga is super important to me and something that I want to bring back into my life and start to really get into again. So there's these little things that I thought of, this is what I want, want to travel more on my own. Now can't happen right now because of COVID, but I started to about a year and a half ago, just take trips by myself. Usually they had to do with work, where I was going on a learning trip, basically. I went and saw Tony Robbins. I did his 5-day business mastery course, which was life-changing, just seeing him and I was doing some courses in Vancouver for work around hormones and different things. So but it was just something. I love to travel, and I love to travel by myself sometimes. So I hadn't done it for 20 years. So I was just getting back into that. Well, not 20 years, maybe 15. So I just want you guys to really think about honoring this shift rather than fighting it. Because every single day I hear from women, because this is my industry, of I've put some weight on, and I don't have a sex drive, and my skin is wrinkly, and my boobs are this, and the list goes on. And I'm not saying those things aren't happening, and there's ways you can mitigate all of it. You guys should know that by now if you've been listening to me for a while. Personally, I've been able to get rid of every single symptom except for some of the weight gain that's happened. Now, part of my weight gain was because I also started doing heavy metal chelation, and I started gaining weight quite rapidly from that. And it's been very hard for me to get it off. I also had a high reverse T3 issue happen, which made me gain weight. And so I've been, and then I also had perimenopause. So the 10 pounds that I gained is still pretty low in considering what I was doing to make myself gain weight. I had a lot of things working against me, let's just say. But I've really had to go, okay, this is where my body needs to be at right now. I eat extremely well. I'm extremely healthy. My skin looks fantastic, I have to say. There's things about me that I think still look awesome. I've got great breasts, always have. It's maybe they're sitting above my tummy flap, but that's okay. There's things that I can focus on. I've gotten rid of the hot flashes. I've got rid of the night sweats. I've got rid of the PMS. I've got rid of the missing period. Now my period's regular. I don't have nearly as much PMS. I've really conquered so many things. My reverse T3 is down. My thyroid is optimized right now. So I feel great. My bowels are working great. My sex drive is pretty good. I've got all of these amazing things that are happening. So I need to embrace that, and you need to too, because there's things that we have to come to accept as we age, which is that we're going to age no matter what. Your skin is going to get wrinkly. You are going to put on some weight, and this is so natural. The woman's body is meant to soften as we age, and it's society that's telling us that it shouldn't. And so we need to change that for our children and for the women coming up behind us. You think of, I look at all the men around me, they're not going and getting tummy tucks and breast implants and butt tucks and Botox, and I don't know one single man that's doing that. And I know that there's lots, but in my world, I'm saying, I know majority of women I know have had some work done, and majority of men that I know, I think all of them have not done anything. And they're looked at as handsome as they age. For the most part, I know there's some guys that aren't so handsome as they age, but we'll just say in general, for the guy's healthy and he's aging still, he's looked at as handsome. And I want you to start thinking about that too with yourself. Start looking at women that are really healthy, that haven't had Botox and injections, and find those women. I mean, there is some actresses out there that aren't doing that to themselves. I'm sure you have friends and family members, people that haven't done anything, but yet still are aging gracefully, and that you look at those people and you think that they're beautiful. So find those people and focus on that so that you can be easier on yourself about it. Let's change this story around aging for women. I think it's really, really important. And watch the shift. I think that's a very important thing to embrace, which is that as you age, it can be a very, very important time where you can finally just let go of all the crap that used to be important to you that means nothing anymore. Simplify your life, simplify your needs, realize that you are becoming more spiritual, And spirituality doesn't mean you have to go to church. I mean, for some people it is, but for some people it might not be. It might be simply that you just start believing that there is a higher power of some sort, or nature. Nature can be very spiritual. Just believing that we're beings full of energy, that we are energy, and that you have a soul and that you have a spirit. It can mean so many different things. It could just simply mean just loving yourself more. That's what it could mean. And just focusing on that, just loving yourself instead of hating yourself, and putting your body down and putting your aging down. Instead, honor it and know that this is part of life. And there's nothing you can do that's going to stop it. It doesn't matter how much work you get. It doesn't matter how many diets you do. You're still going to age. And so you can either fight it or you can embrace it. Embracing it is much, much easier, I think, and ignoring all that crap that's coming at you from the outside world. All right, you guys, I hope that gave you all something to think about. And I hope you will join me on my mission to change the way we see aging women and start to think of them as beautiful. I want to be called like the beautiful older woman. I think that that's an incredible goal to just embrace and see myself that way. All right, you guys, have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. I hope you enjoyed today's show. New episodes come out every Thursday, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of them. You can also find me at KarenMartell.com, and you can get free recipes and weight loss tips by following me on Instagram and Facebook at Karen Martell Nutrition.